Hi, Beans. Hi, Beans. That wasn't what I meant to say. Hi, humans. Psalm 2. 2 nights ago. Sunday night. It's Tuesday night. I started listening to the audiobook of Anne Of Green Gables. And it's amazing. I totally had never realized how young Anne is. She was old and mature and yeah, I've really been aware of how young Anne is this time. And that's cool. Bye.
Hi, soybeans. Hi, soys. um, so, I recently reread Anne of Green Gables. I haven't read. This is a horrible copy of Anne of Green Gables for what I'm talking about. Just a second. Much better! Now I have 2 copies, both of them the library's copies, to be perfectly honest. One of which is in the adult section, the boring looking one. One of them is in the young junior fiction section. There's none in the YA section. Let's not talk about library decisions, where to place books. Let's talk about Anne of Green Gables. So I was actually listening to the audiobook, so I didn't read it. To be somewhat technical. So I was listening to Anne of Green Gables, and I haven't read it in probably 10 years. So I'm 20 now, so that's making me at least 10 since I last read it. And before that, I think the first time I read it, I was probably 7, maybe 8. Anyhow, so back then I thought Anne was super mature and grown up, at the beginning of the book when she's like 11. So it's quite funny to be a 20-year-old, older than Anne at any stage in Anne of Green Gables. Just be like, my goodness, she's so young. Oh, she's so young. And let's not talk about the fact that I'm older than her. And she's the ending. Nowadays it's so frustrating. I would love to do what she does at the end. I would love to. Except for I don't think if there's any kid in this town I'd care to teach, but there's a few maybe. But yeah, she becomes a school teacher. Spoiler alert for a book that's well over 100 years old, so maybe not. Spoiler alert. So yeah. What to say about this classic? The book I originally read was like, I had the first 3 books all in it at once, and that would be Anne of Green Gables, Anne of Avonlea, and Anne of the Island. And so I honestly couldn't tell you exactly where it stopped. Like, I couldn't tell you that what fell in what book. I knew, like, in the first book, or I was pretty sure it was in the first book, that, spoilers, this is just spoiler filled, Matthew died, but, like, it was almost 100% certain that the scene where Anne goes and recites at White Sands was in the second book, but that's in the first book. And all the spoilers. I was just like, oh, it's in the first book. Oh, okay. That explains why I could never find the picture of her getting dressed that I really loved. So I remember. So I'll be. I don't know if I'll be keeping on rereading them. I'll be booking the rest of them, or I listen to them audiobooks primarily while I wait for the rendering of my videos. So yeah, I'll probably be continuing at least with Avonlea. I think the library, whatchamacallit system has Anne of the Island as well. Libby Overdrive. Sunflower Library, I'm in Kansas. Sunflower Library. I think they have Anne of the Island as well, so I'll at least get to that far. I'm going to keep going until I run out of audiobooks. And then I don't know what I'm going to do. If I'm going to keep going. I do know that my favorite Anne series are the last two. Terrible thing to admit, but I really love Rainbow Valley and Willa of Ingleside. It is Willa of Ingleside, right? Yeah. And so, that's my plan, tentative as it is. But I was like, really, ooh, does this one have illustrations? Ooh, distractions. It has one. It's pretty. Anne's so quotable. She's like more mature than you would think, but at the same time, oh my goodness, Anne's life was so tough. I was an ignorant young, not paying attention thing last time I read Anne of Green Gables. I did not notice just how horrible Anne's life was. Like, good night. Anne was struggling. She was doing so much before she was like 11. Like, color me surprised based on, those first couple of chapters when Anne's talking about her childhood. It's just like, oh my goodness, that's horrible. So, I have hiccups now. And the heat just came on. I should quit this video while I'm ahead. Because I really don't have much to say except for it's delightful. You should read it if you haven't. She's a classic. I would say she's not one of those classics that are definitely, adult. She's one of these books that, because there wasn't really a YA genre back then, nowadays, if it was published, it would be historical fiction YA, and everybody would be fine with that. But back then, it was just an adult book because it wasn't a kid's book. And so, it's now a classic, but it's one of those good classics that you can read at a young age, and you won't have people going too badly. I mean, they'll still be impressed, but they won't be going, you read that at that young of an age? And it's not, this one at least is not super heavy on the romance. I mean, in fact, there's technically no romance in here, but you'll understand once you've read the rest of them. What I mean when I say technically no romance, you can tell. So, some ramblings on Anne of Green Gables, in which I am surprised. Bye.
To Odd Light Haven. I'm here to tell you, at the end of Anne of Green Gables, if you came this far, I'm participating in Readmo. It's a February readathon for NaNoWriMo participants, so that they can read more, which I think is great, because I do plan on participating in NaNoWriMo this coming year, and I want the summer to be action-filled, and so I'm wanting to get like 50 books in February, but a lot of these will be Bible books, because that's apparently a thing you can do, is count Bible books towards your Goodreads goal. So I'm doing that this year. I don't think I'll do it next year, but I'm doing that this year, and I quite enjoy it. Do the YouTube things.